What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Movie Talk Mondays. I am your host, C's Monroe, and today we're here to talk about Red One. So Red One was another one of those streaming films that was saved by the movie theaters, pushed for a theatrical release, and I'm pretty sure it was because of the budget. So this film cost about $200 to $250 million. First off, that is a lot of money, like for a theatrical film, let alone a movie that just goes straight to streaming. Plus, you have multiple stars in this film. You have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You have Chris Evans. You have Lucy Liu. Like, you have big names in this film, and for it to just go to streaming and it costs that much of a budget, it's kind of a problem. The thing that worried me about this film is it was being pushed a lot, like ad wise. And I think that's where a lot of this is going to come into an issue. So this movie is, again, it cost $250 million. So that's not considering the marketing budget of this film. That's not considering just what the movie is going to make opening weekend. Right now it's slated to do about 35-40 million opening weekend. I say it's going to do around 45 to 50, hopefully, but it's just not looking very well for this film right now. And unfortunately, the numbers only go down from there. And unlike Alien Romulus, which was another film that was slated for streaming, it was supposed to be on Hulu, but it cost them $80 million to make. And I'm pretty sure that's a lot easier to chuck up $80 million for a big company like Disney versus a $250 million just chuck it up to a company like Amazon. Although Amazon is probably a bigger company than Disney right now, that's still a lot of money to just blow off. So that's something to think about. Other than that, let's get into the movie. Going into this film, I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, I seen a lot of ads for it. I was kind of worried about the film, but I wanted it to be good because I seen Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson pushing this film like crazy. And I'm a big Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fan. Like, I love his film. And I just feel like he was pushing it as much as he's pushing it just because of the failure that Black Adam was. And again, to me personally, Black Adam was a good film. It just didn't work at the time for some odd reason. I don't even know. I can't even give you a great reasoning behind it, but it just didn't make his money back, unfortunately. And comparing Black Adam to like the Marvels or something like that, I would clearly go watch Black Adam before I watch that. But Black Adam before I watched the Marvels, but obviously that didn't take Black Adam took a toll at box office, plain and simple. And with Red One, I think it's going to have to go through those same tolls. And I believe Black Adam was the last film The Rock released in theaters before this. So I can see the struggles here with why they're pushing it as much as they are. On top of that, he's running a production company that's behind this film. So again, it just ties into it. But with that down, I felt like the film was a little long for it to be the type of film that it was. It's a little over 2 hours. I'm going to just say it's about 2 hours and 3 minutes or something like that. All in all, I just felt like it was a lot of explaining going on in the film, and it wasn't enough action for it to be a family film, if that makes sense. There's a lot of explaining in the film, and I think you're going to lose a lot of people with that. Making sense of the situation that's going on in Red One, I get it. You have to explain things, but you kind of got to gloss over them with a runtime like that. You have a long runtime, and it's supposed to be for the families to enjoy. I just feel like they could have worked on that a little bit more, kind of explain things throughout the dialogue versus having to go through the situation as the movie progressed. Would have worked out a lot better. My key points that stuck out to the movie for me was going to be the Krampus scene, and that's like midway through the movie, like middle towards the end type deal. I want to say about an hour, 10 minutes in. It's the Krampus scene. It's like you going into his world, and I think that was like the best scene out of the whole movie. Other than that, I didn't really enjoy it too much, honestly, personally. But my children enjoyed it. My nephew enjoyed it, so that made me happy to see that they enjoyed something like that. So I guess it worked out a little bit. I just didn't feel like the movie had enough going on to keep attention spans for anyone younger than like 13 years old. Because this one was a slow burn at times. It was kind of hard to watch. But other than that, I felt like the acting was there. I felt like the characters were good. It was a lot of explaining on certain things that just didn't need to be explained for the most part. I'm not going to say it didn't need to be explained. It needed to be explained, but it could have been explained a lot quicker throughout dialogue. there was another scene in there. I wanted to bring this up. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but there's a scene in there where it's involving Cookie, and there could have been an easy line in there foreshadowing the Cookie situation, and it wasn't. We kind of ignored that. But that goes back into the writing. I know this movie probably was shooting during the writer's strike, or started shooting during around the writer's strike and the actor's strike. So I'm pretty sure that's probably where they ran into problems. Instead of starting from scratch, they kind of just picked up where they left off and kind of left things the way they were, unfortunately. And again, $250 million. Going back, you would have probably had to spend $300 million. And honestly, I feel like that would have been a better investment, because right now it's kind of hard to just throw anything out there. It's like I said before, it's projected to do about 35, which is, what's that, about 15-20% of his budget for the opening weekend. That's tough. So hopefully something gives at that point. Hopefully families come to see it, but it's going to be pretty hard for them to grab the family crowd, because right behind Red One you have Wicked coming out, which is going to bring the family. Gladiator, which is going to bring the older crowd, the older family members, so on and so forth. And then a week after that, you have, not even a full week after that, you have Moana 2. So another Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson production. So there you go. I'm not going to say this movie was badly placed. You know what? Yes, I am. The reason being is because there's not much coming out in December. Like that first week of December, most of the time people call that like a dead zone, like the first week of December, the last weeks of August, or just releasing the August period. Those were like the dead zones when it came to cinema, theatrical runs and whatnot. But right now, where I feel like Black Panther kind of changed everything, and I'm going to explain why I say that. Black Panther, the first Black Panther film, came out February 2018. No blockbuster dropped in February before Black Panther. So that was the issue. I want to say Deadpool came out in February as well, and that came out before Black Panther. Problem was, I don't think Deadpool was a blockbuster when it first came out. I'm gonna look that up. I believe Deadpool did end up making around $700 million or something crazy like that. So I don't know. I'm gonna look into that. But I feel like Black Panther, it hitting the $1 billion mark in for a February release. It was the biggest February release in history. 2018, it was the biggest film. Like, it made the most money in America. Like, and Infinity War came out that year. So I just feel like Black Panther was the thing that changed, the movie that changed the tone of when you can release films, because it showed that you could just release a film whenever and it's going to do good as long as the film is good. There was no school breaks or family vacation time. It was just, we're going to release this movie in February, and it ran and it worked. So with that, I just feel like they should have moved it to December after the Wicked, Moana rush, and then you would have had Red One as something new and exciting to see, and it would have worked. You're still going to have it at box office during the time of Wicked and Moana, but I just feel like it would have had the new eyes on it, although it is a Christmas film, so I'm sure they wanted to get it out to everyone in time to see it right before Christmas, but it is what it is. So that's my thoughts on Red One. All in all, I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 10. I thought it was watchable. I don't plan on rewatching this film. I don't think it has the rewatchability factor in there. And again, like the storyline, it was there. It just needed better explaining quickly, if that makes sense. It needed to be more interesting, less time, more explanation. I know that's like asking for too much at one time, but it is what it is. $250 million, make it happen, right? So that's my thoughts on Red One. I hope you guys go see it this weekend. It's coming out Friday. I was able to see an early screening, so that's why I'm here this Monday talking to you guys about it. I also want to speak to you guys about some things Thursday on the C's Monroe Show. I can't wait to speak to you about it. But other than that, man, I'll see you guys Thursday on the C's Monroe Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell me if you're going to go see Red One this weekend. Are you excited to see it this weekend? What do you think about the holiday releases? Go ahead, leave it in the comments. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Peace.